There, it's Dr. Nicola coming to you. I've had a few people this past week, a few patients in my office. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to just hit the camera. Who just have been feeling pretty overwhelmed by news and the state of affairs in our world or our country, and just feeling really heavy and burdened by the sense of not knowing what to do about it, not knowing, just kind of feeling hopeless, which isn't a place where these folks typically feel. Most people typically feel empowered. So as I was talking to this one woman in particular, this one patient of mine, what I realized is that there's a couple of things that we can do right now in this moment, and honestly in every moment, to help us move through the heaviness that we're feeling. And the first thing is to acknowledge that we're feeling whatever it is that we're feeling: scared, desperate, hopeless, angry, frustrated, whatever that is. But I think a lot of people don't realize that they are having actual emotions, and that's what's driving the busy brain to try to figure out, what do I need to do about it? What's the right answer? What's the future of my children? Which are really legitimate questions to be asking in the kind of global climate that we are all living in. But what's underneath that desire to problem solve and figure out solutions is this idea that there's actual emotions here, and we're upset and we're frustrated and we're frightened and we're unsure and we're in all of these different places. And so step one would be to feel into all it is that's coming up, and allow yourself to have it all, have all of that emotional experience, and just let yourself be with what that is. And there's a saying from AA that says, first feel, then deal, then heal. And that's kind of what allows us to do this. But a lot of us skip step one of feeling and go right into dealing. And that really gets in the way, because we're not really aware of all the emotions that are driving us to try to solve the problem. And we get very caught up in the head-based solutions, which can be important, without really feeling into the grief or the sadness or the anger or the despair or whatever it is. So that's step one, is to actually allow yourself to feel your feelings. And I'll share this practice with you, and I'll actually kind of imagine my golden heart lighting up, and I'll imagine the emotion. If there's many emotions, I'll do this one at a time, but I'll literally put my hands in front of me and imagine the emotion there. And then I will very consciously name whatever it is, whatever I'm feeling, and then bring it towards my golden heart. And that seems to really just neutralize the emotion for me, so that it doesn't feel so big and so overwhelming. So step two would be to stimulate your vagus nerve. So I'm talking a lot about the vagus nerve. I've been geeking out doing all these interviews for the Anxiety Summit coming up. And the vagus nerve real quickly runs from your brain, and it wanders all the way through your body down into your gut. But there are parts of the vagus nerve that go out and innervate your tongue, your soft palate, your inner ear, those sort of things. So if you hum or gargle or laugh or sing or chant, anything that's going to activate this part, kind of the tongue, soft palate, ear part of your body, that actually stimulates the vagus nerve, and which causes our system to relax into the parasympathetic, or rest, digest, and heal part of our nervous system. And so it's been fascinating to me to learn all about what this does, but there's actual good stuff happening for your physical nervous system if you laugh or you chant or you simply gargle after you brush your teeth, something like that. So that is really, really important. So that's step number two, would be to stimulate your vagus nerve, ideally through talking, taking a deep breath, some sort of mindful practice, but using your voice in some way too can be really helpful. And then step three is realize that you are an electromagnetic being. Anything that is alive has an electromagnetic current and vibratory pattern that it's putting out into the world. And once you realize that you actually carry a vibration, which is why we say, I got a good vibe off of that person, or that person gave me bad vibes. We're talking about this electromagnetic impulse that's impacting how our electromagnetic field is showing up. And so what we can do is, if you realize that playing with your child or reading a book and getting into a calm state actually changes your electromagnetic frequency. And then you're sending that calm, peaceful vibration out into the world, that is actually contributing to global harmony in such a huge, huge way. And so you can kind of take yourself off the hook around what big gesture do I need to make? Do I need to get involved? And just realize that keeping yourself in a peaceful, harmonious, balanced state is actually emitting that frequency into the universe and creating much more peace and peaceful vibration, harmonious vibration on the planet. And that doesn't mean to say that you don't get involved and volunteer and be an activist and all of those things. Those are great, but do these things first and realize that you being in your center, in your pleasure, in your calm state actually has as much, if not more, to do with bringing a peaceful resolution to a lot of the stuff that we're seeing on the news. So hopefully this is helpful. More than anything, I want you to know you're not alone. There are a lot of people that are feeling just really burdened by everything that's going on and not quite sure what they can access to make a difference. And so I want you to know that you being in your person, in your light, makes a huge difference every day. And maybe add a gargle in to the end of your toothbrushing, and just allow yourself a little bit more space to feel into what you're feeling. So hopefully that was helpful. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have questions or if you have some experiences to share about how this is working for you, I would love to hear it. Let's get the conversation started, because that's one thing that I'm hearing is that people feel like they're really alone in this, and I want you to know that you're not. Okay, thanks again for joining. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.